So I was wrong about the Archdemon's Dilemma and what they were planning on doing with 11 and 12 because last week I truly thought that was a perfect ending. Like in most anime cases, episode 11, you leave that in a season and you're feeling pretty good. Like they had a good stopping point, but no. I was wrong. Episode 12 is the perfect stopping point because what episode 12 feels like is an epilogue. And usually we're so used to seasons and stuff of ongoing shows ending, and if we're lucky, we do get what episode 11 did. We end the main arc, we kind of see where all the characters are going to go, we have an idea of where the long-term plot's going to go, and that's well and good. But when you look at a show like this, how did most of us start feeling with this show? It was really about the adorable bonding and the out-of-pocketness of like Neffy and Zagan and how the characters were going to bond over the show, and to have a final episode be where it's not a go read the source material ending. It's not a, here's this big plot setup that, maybe in 3 years' time you'll get to see the continuation. No, instead it's, here's every single memorable character that we've grown to love in this show, and let's see them have a proper family bonding scene. And in doing so, last week kind of showed us where the long-term plot would go without it feeling like a slap in the face, go read the manga, go read that source material ending. And this episode just really puts that nice bow on it to make you say, no, this is the perfect ending. And in fact, I would actually argue this is one of the most satisfying stopping points I've seen of this year so far. And yeah, I definitely want a season 2, but I could legitimately leave here and be completely satisfied knowing everything's just gonna be a-okay for this family. I have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full length of thought to any of these Archdemon Dilemma episodes. It's gonna be over there exclusively. This one wasn't a guaranteed skip for me, but it was one that I was more convinced I was gonna try when it was over. I'm so glad I jumped aboard though, because this was one of the bigger surprises of this season, and the dynamic between the cast as a whole, it just feels like I've known them longer than 12 episodes for some and more than a handful of episodes for others. The family dynamic we got going on between husband and wife, adoptive daughter, butler grandpa, uncle who maybe shouldn't drink quite as much but still comes over because he cares, and sister-cousin dynamic. That's kind of like the family vibe I get, and I never thought I would say it, but goddamn, am I the only one who feels like you ship Barbados and Shastiel together? Because at the end of the day, if this man's able to stomach her slop, which apparently tasted like worse than muddy water. Listen, if a former slave is saying that the muddy water she used to drink on the side of the road tastes better than whatever pumpkin stew she was brewing up over there, I don't think there's a bigger insult than that. But legitimately, there's something so charming about this man who's just like, I'm so sick and tired of cleaning up her mess. Like, her mess. She's a natural-born idiot. She's a klutz. She's like, she ruins all of her progress. I have to clean that up, and then she's tripping and breaking ankles. Like, I'm just so sick and tired, but you can't tell me with a straight face they aren't adorable together. And the fact that he can eat her food, I'm sorry, bro, you're already officially married. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. But whether it's stuff like that, whether it's the fact that we go from last week's episode, best grandpa Raphael covering up for his eyes, you're too young to see this, lo and behold, no bro, she's literally Cupid's arrow in this bitch. The fact that she's like, it may take decades for these two to even kiss. I'm like, girl, I understand that dragons' ages are different than humans, but we still gotta treat you as a kid, and somehow she's the one who's shipping them so hard to get them into more intimate. I was like, I never saw that coming. And the fact that rather than my boy covering her eyes as they start getting a little more romantic, he goes over to teach him how to dance. As much as best grandpa wants to think that he's in control, at the end of the day, he's a grandpa who just spoils her and will give her whatever she wants at the end of the day, and that's fantastic. But seriously, just like going and hitting all the notes we need to. Everyone got their chance. Hell, even the shopkeeper got a little bit, and somehow she still found a way to dress up Neffy. She needs to learn what consent is, because I heard Neffy boldly say not today, and somehow she still got dressed up. But legitimately, just such a fun and effective epilogue. This didn't feel like an ending. Last week felt like the season ending, where this feels like the epilogue, that bonus chapter that just sees the whole gang together. And it's not like it comes from an out-of-pocket place, because this is a show that, while yeah, had a couple of, like, in the early stages, like, damn, that's a little more shocking, a little more darker, but at the end of the day, it was all about the simplicity of the character interactions and seeing a different take on what you would associate for a lot of these characters to be. And to see an episode like this that just brings it home for a family dinner, buying the record player, fixing it up, the music bringing together, and then just leaving it in the alley for all the kids and general people because they know what it is to grow up in the streets, in the slums, be homeless and poor, and to give them that sense of mystical wonder. You just feel like you grew a lot with these characters, and while yeah, I would love a seasons 2, 3, 4, 5, there's a lot of potential with where they've set up the story to go, but I can just leave satisfied. Like, that's the best way to put it. I don't think many people are going to leave this saying, I don't want a season 2, but I'd be shocked if most people aren't saying, I could leave this feeling satisfied not seeing any more, because it used the last 2 episodes to tie that bow in 2 very different ways, but in equally important ways in my humble opinion. And I mean, for an episode that was all about music and music bringing people together, the OST in this episode was fantastic. I definitely still think the way they used music for action scenes just didn't mesh in well, but the actual music for everything that wasn't an action scene, I just always thought this had a very beautiful OST, and this episode in particular I felt stole the show, which is great to see because at the end of the day, this really was an episode all about the power of music bringing people together and having that more intensity with the emotions, which I definitely thought the OST delivered on alongside the script. I loved it. I don't think there was a missed opportunity with a character. Raphael was probably my favorite out of the bunch, but Neffy and Zagan's relationship was fantastic. The adoptive daughter plotline, who I thought was going to be more of a babysitter role, turned out to be more of a sisterly cousin role. It's kind of hilarious that she both gets called her name and Tailhead in the same sentence, but I guess we can call progress. And honestly, Barbados, when he initially betrayed us, man, I didn't see it coming, but I'm so glad we didn't just kill him because he had so much potential, and honestly, I ship him with her so hard. It's just, I love it so much. I hope for a season 2. I wish for a season 2. But this is just a good open and shut show if it had to be like this, is my honest opinion. But let me know what you thought down below, whether if you're Source Reader, Anime Original. What did you think? Because I really thought this was a beautiful epilogue, but let me know how you're feeling down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alrighty, so today we got James the Best, Eris Cateris, Eater Carnes, Kusho, Sebastian Price, Jewel, and we also have Dude. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.